And just like that, should we get another month of racing underway? Welcome everyone to ACSL in March. I am your commentator Omi, and I'm looking forward to sharing this journey with you once again for another month to see all of the winners, to see them all be crowned, and also, of course, continuing to progress towards our main season. It is going to be an exciting race today. You momentarily saw live pictures. We've got the final minutes going on of practice, and it is going to be quite a qualifying. 15 minutes of qualifying, 30 minutes of racing. If you joined us in Season 2 in the Renault Clio Cup, that is a format that you'll be very, very familiar with. And we've had lots of formats across the last few races that we have been doing, but we're returning back to our traditional one, and we'll see what it is going to deliver for us. So, without further ado, should we go back and join some of the action? We have Brantos making their way by and sliding around. Now, if you've not worked out already, we have got a BMW out there on the circuit. Of course, you would have seen the image as we started and went live. And now we are taking a look down at what is going to be definitely quite the spectacle. It's kind of how the event was described. The words were, they look innocent, but they're really not in the actual sign-up. I completely agree, because yeah, you could think that they just look innocent. I mean, if I saw that somewhere on if I saw that somewhere on the street, and okay, maybe take a few aspects away from it, I would not really notice. But you know, this is absolutely going to be delivering the wheel-to-wheel combat we want, and also, which I've mentioned on so many events, because of course we've done so many across the last few weeks, and even I'm going back to last year, before we started off Season 2 and everything that we were doing with events. The main and key thing I always started off and mentioned at some point in a broadcast was the car combination that we have is it allows close racing, but it's tricky for the drivers. We don't want something that's going to be completely easy for them. We want to challenge them in some way, and this car does challenge them, and that is what we love about it. That is what we love, and it means that they're having to wrestle the car around this circuit. So as practice very nearly concludes, I want to quickly run you through something that has changed since we last spoke with you. So I want to quickly confirm something. We are here at Road America today for the race. Nothing has changed. This was always planned. However, this is where the caveat comes in. The rest of the month's racing has been very much changed. So what was originally planned, what I told you 1 week ago when we ended the endurance race, of course we'll discuss a bit about it in a second. This is what I basically gave you this type of format, however, with a complete different car and circuit combination. This week, of course, has remained the same because I think the decision was made in the last few days. Well, it was announced completely today, so it would have been made in the last few days. So they, of course, couldn't change today because realistically, it's unfair on the drivers who've been practicing, etc., etc. They have changed it from next week, though. We'll be having the NASCAR Craftsman Series racing around Brands Hatch. That will be quite something. Then it is DTM on the 21st. Really, really excited for that. And, I mean, there was a 40 date for us 1 week ago when I told you it. We've not got a clue. All I can tell you is it's a pre-season event, and as it says, it does the speaking for me, it's coming soon. It's coming soon. So, I'm going to leave you with that. That's your calendar. That's your calendar for the rest of the month. That's the rest of the month, but, you know, we've got some racing on today, so I think let's focus on it, and we're about to get going with it. So, this is the end and conclusion of practice. The driver is having a bit of fun. There is Brantos. Oh, direct incident. I'm unsure whether we're meant to be getting into that territory. I don't know whether this counts in terms of the rating. The rating systems rather is continuing to be worked on and getting better and better and better. If I remember correctly from last time, that it would detect if cars crash into each other like after sessions, etc. Then it could still detect things. I don't know whether that's the case for practice, or whether that's been updated now, but they've got to be careful. So some of these shenanigans that we had a year ago and earlier on, they've got to behave just that little bit more, don't they? Hello to everyone watching on in the live chat. Hello to the drivers as well, who are, well, listening into the commentary. Hello to everyone. Quite literally, hello to everyone. Hope everyone's day has been well. Of course, we're getting started with the real-life Australian Grand Prix weekend. So, I hope everyone's been enjoying the action in Albert Park. Not just Formula 1, because, I mean, you know, if you're watching Formula 1, quite literally, and if you're complaining about some of the issues, etc., because I know not everyone is happy, you know, come over to F3. Come over to F3. Come over, try watch the supercar race that's also going on in Melbourne. Watch some, and of course F2's on as well, but, you know, watch some racing as well, which is on the support bill. And, you know, F1 is at 4 AM, that is true. But, you know, F3 gets underway in 2 hours and 40 minutes. So 9:40. So you can absolutely watch the F3 before you go to bed. I know F2 then there's a bit of a wait till like midnight. So yes. So we're waiting to get going. We're waiting to get going in terms of the action here at Road America. Your practice is complete. Of course, we've brought you the final minutes. And now, as the revs fade down, we'll fade them back up in a few moments, because it'll be very nearly time to head into qualifying. Perfect time to let me know your predictions in the live chat in terms of who do you think is going to be on pole position. I mean, judging by practice and judging by ACSL in the last few months, if you want to get a prediction right, there could be one driver you could pick. If you want to just be bold completely, then pick any of the other names. I'm not going to say more than that. But yes, Casper Marciniak has been extraordinary. It's meant we have not had any battles in qualifying for pole position. And in fact, the battle for pole position literally came in 1 week ago. It literally came 1 week ago, and I couldn't believe it. You have so many of these events with so many cars. Of course, Casper Marciniak wasn't racing, which does play a part, because, you know, he's the one who's constantly dominating these qualifyings. But we actually had a late change for pole position, and, you know, it went down all the way in the final seconds, and that is fantastic. Okay, we've got a prediction, everyone, in the live chat. Always going with Ryan Cole. Yes, absolutely. And now, now going off last week, which of course I completely butchered this, but am I correct in saying 1 week on that you are the father of Ryan Cole? I hope my memory is that good enough to know that. Unless it was a complete different username. And it was a completely different person. And for some reason now I've linked them to you. It's not. It would be definitely a bit more helpful if I could remember things from 1 week ago. But to be fair, we were awake for, well, we were on air for like nearly 5 hours. So, considering we were on air nearly 5 hours, I can give myself a bit of the benefit of the doubt. And also, basically, as they go out, I'll give you a little story time. I'll give you a little story time to fill some time. Basically, with everything that's been going on in Melbourne, so I was commentating everything on the Thursday into Friday. So, of course, with the way time zone works here in the UK, everything begins on Thursday night, it heads into Friday morning. So I was up all of that, and then I managed to get 2.5 hours sleep on that Friday before I had to be up for the usual weekday stuff. As my word, we're getting to contact already. It's like I'm commentating a race. I had to interrupt myself just now because Ryan Coltman sent round that they were going very nearly 3 wide and they're still trying to make overtakes, and there's more contact. This is the most aggressive, and you know, I know commentators can sometimes exaggerate things, but I'm not actually exaggerating it this time. This is the most aggressive I think I've ever seen a start to an ACSL qualifying, because it's like they're racing all the way till the line. It's like there's some form of weather coming, but we know there isn't. Anyway, continuing with the story before I I'm not able to get any more words out about it. So I had to go into the usual 9 to 5 day stuff. And with that, of course, I was on 0 hours of sleep. Then I had 2 esports gigs. So I couldn't really get any sleep in then on Friday afternoon into evening. And then, of course, Friday night is when the Saturday things begin. So I didn't get any sleep then. So basically, I was struggling to stay awake across F1 qualifying because I was commentating F2 and then I had a break for F1, the qualifying. So I then got to sleep. So I watched the F1 qualifying. I basically didn't even, I'll be honest, I think I zoned out completely out of the ending of Q2. I just about woke back up for Q3 and saw the, well, Mercedes domination. And then I basically went to bed for about 5 hours. And then I woke up. I'm surprised it's only 5 hours, because considering I've not been able to sleep for 2 days, I would have thought probably my body would want more. But I guess it didn't. And then, yeah, I was finally able to get some sleep. And we've got a few cars just stopping and having moments on the circuit. But yeah, I was able to get some good sleep. Decent sleep. I woke up, did a few things for a few hours, went back to bed for about 3 hours, woke up at about 5. So that's 2 hours ago. Of course, confirmed I was commentating on this. And then, pretty much, I've been getting all set and ready for Grand Prix Sunday. And, while of course this is not part of Grand Prix Sunday, it's a great thing to also have on a few hours before. Oh, well, I say a few hours. This will end about 1 hour, 40 minutes before everything begins. Anyway, that's story time over. Should we focus on qualifying? I know everyone loves a good little story to start off the day. If you did not have enough of stories in the 3 hours, because that's what I basically spammed the broadcast with. Because, you know, there wasn't a lot going on the circuit across 3 hours. So, I really hope that you, I guess, enjoyed another story, but don't worry, we're not going to be throwing them in too much. Because I can assure you, judging from what I've just seen, there's going to be too much to talk about on circuit across today. So we'll see how it's all going to go. No George Given today, by the way. I know there is lots of people. I know there is lots of people who, well, support him on each week, and of course he's one of our regulars here at ACSL, but he's not here. Right, okay, now, as we did a few weeks ago, I can't remember which race it was. I think it was the Ford, was it? It was one of the races, where we go through the liveries that the drivers have done. I want to do that. Let's take a look. Right, where do we go in terms of first driver? I mean, we're currently taking a look at Brandon Bartop. Just trying to load it up. Okay, we'll start off with Ryan Cole. How quickly can I locate him? As you can tell, not the fastest, and he's in the pit lane at the moment. Okay, we'll have to come back to Ryan Cole then. Because as his father has said, he's having some wheel issues. It's just playing up a bit. That's not ideal. Right, let's go to Dimitrov. That's the livery that they've got. Interesting. OHG sponsoring. Of course, George Given, the owner of that esports team. Got some of the sponsoring on the car, and of course you've also got the ACSL logo. Decent. I think it worked quite nicely, to be fair. That livery does. Kasper Marciniak, 2 minute 18.615, and that is already 1.7 seconds ahead of the rest. Extraordinary scenes. Kasper Marciniak is the driver who we are going to go to next, in fact. Here he is. Okay, nice shade. I like that colour. I think it looks good. I think it's a nice clean design. The sponsoring, there's quite a bit of it on the car, so it works out quite nicely. With some camera angles you can't really see some of the sponsoring, but it works well. It works well. When the sun isn't completely glaring it down, it is great. Like that. Like that. Where are we going next? Wellerman. So directly in behind to P2. Here is Wellerman. If the camera... Well, when we get a good camera, all the way down there. There we go. Wellerman... So he's the car... Yes, so he's this one in behind. Okay, so that's quite interesting, because he's... You know, you've got some of the arrows going up. A white and blue mix. You know what? That feels like a BMW. That feels like a... I know it is a BMW, but it feels like a BMW. And I know the colours aren't exactly precise with the blue, but... Blue, white, BMW. It basically speaks BMW. So, he's gone with a BMW style livery. We were watching Brandon Bartop. I didn't want to completely make comments too early, so I just wanted to... I wanted to make sure that he's actually made that livery. And it's not just one of the automatic... Oh, he's going to be into the part and into the side of some of the traffic. That was Brantos, I think. Here's the car. Well, at least the car being stationary has allowed us to at least get a bit of a view of that livery. That looks very good. I mean, in the preview image, it looked absolutely fantastic as well. That looks very good with the sun as well, out. So that's very nice to see. The image of that car, great. Love the text font on it. Love the colour. I think that works really, really great. Okay, Ryan Cole's back on the circuit. That's it in terms of liveries. So let's go back to Ryan Cole. Because we couldn't do him earlier on. He's now on the circuit. There we go. Well, next question that I ask. Racing drivers, you can answer this later as well, by the way. You can come... I know some people are listening. When qualifying's done, you can quickly answer this later, or you can answer it in the Discord and I'll check. So, Ryan Cole. That's his livery. So my question is basically, what is your favourite livery? What is your favourite livery? Let me know. Let me know what is your favourite livery, because we've gone through them all. I really like the 11, kind of... It's kind of like it begins integrating into... You've got a bit of a gradient going on. I know you can't see it completely from this angle, but you've got a bit of a gradient going and kind of merging into the car colour. I like that. I like the different shades of pink, purple, all across. And I think that's a really, really good, decent livery. I really like that, to be fair. Of course, you've got the ACSL number 11 as well on the car. To the side, the ACSL logo. Okay. I think that's very good. I've also just been looking at the preview images, by the way. So, I might have been able to analyse more than you can actually see while they're running around. So, apologies for that. Apologies for that. Okay, now with 6 minutes to go, let's focus on this session. So, Kasper Marciniak leading the way. He's got Nvidia sponsoring as well. That's interesting. I assume that's the GPU he's using? Oh, brilliant. Oh no, but is that AMD on the back I see as well? Or is that my eyes just now completely not working in the way I would hope? Is that... I think it is AMD on the back. Never mind. We can't judge what what GPU Kasper Marciniak has. I don't think we're going to be able to tell now. Let's see. With it being... We can't completely identify the sponsors because of the sun right now. And the car colours. I think it was AMD though. I think it was the logo, and I think it was also the text AMD. I think it's on at the back, or it could easily be something else. Anyway, I'll take a look at the preview image and we'll see whether we can work it out. Anyway, Kasper Marciniak, 2 minute 18.615. That is your pole position time at the moment. It is AMD. I'm just taking a look at the preview image. Okay, well, we're not going to be able to tell what GPU he has then, because he's got both. I would have thought he's put the one on the car which he's got, but no, never mind. Okay, Marciniak, Tiberio, Wellerman, Sparpen, our Season 4 champion across both the Ginetta GT4 and Peugeot Cup that season. Very close championships in the end, both of them were, as we did a dual campaign that year in terms of 2 different series running inside the same season. And then Massaro, great to get him here with us now. And then Mayonet, Keeman, Lorenzo, Alex, Bartok, Dimitrov, Kurgan, Goldstein, and then Brantos, Marcus, Cole, and Duran is the field who are all contesting today. Now, we've got a, should we say, dominant driver at the front. Should we? Though at least watch this battle for second place. Let's see it all unfold. Over the line goes Tiberio. A few moments ago, that was. Get quite a lot of runoff through there here at Road America. IndyCar absolutely utilised that during some of the chaos. But other than that, at this part of the circuit, you've got to be careful because it's grass left and grass right. We've seen already so far across February and January even. Drivers be so brave with the with how they approach things. A lot of them aren't completely afraid. They will easily just, you know, completely drive the car on the grass when possible. Okay, let's focus then on this battle because it's very close gaps between first, second, third, and second, third, fourth, and fifth, and you can even include sixth really in that. And then you get a bit of a gap to Marcos, a bit of a gap then to Mayonet, and then you've got those, and then you've got Keeman, Lorenzo. So realistically, it is second down to about sixth that are within range, and I think could have some form of an impact. I think that's the way things are looking at the moment. We're taking a look at Wellerman because he's the closest one to challenging Tiberio. Just to quickly make a note, by the way, there will be no interviews today. We will not be having any interviews with the drivers. As I mentioned, the Melbourne stuff is on and I need to jump straight off. I'm really happy the timings have still worked out that I could at least be here for you with this race. That's what I'm incredibly grateful for. That I could share about an extra 1 hour with you. "54 seconds to go. We are ticking down, and down, and down. Kasper Marciniak is in the pit lane, he's done. So he has set his lap time that will be taking him surely to pole position unless someone has got the greatest lap that they've ever produced in their life. But what you can do is surely go for second place. The front row spot is definitely there and up for grabs. Let's see whether Wellerman has got a chance to try and take it as he pushes on. Dantis Papen could be one to watch too. Here he is. As he sends the car in deep, 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 deep. As Sepe says in the chat, Kasper Marciniak is ahead by a big margin of them all. And that is very much the case, and it has been the case for so long. Wellerman has made an error, that's him done. The checkered flag is out. Wellerman is going to be in third position. Spapen's coming into the pit lane. It's all eyes now. No, Bartop is done as well. I mean, Tiberio is in second. He probably won't be able... I mean, unless, as I said, he finds the greatest lap of his life. And he's not going to be able to challenge Kasper Marciniak. But I don't see him right now dropping off this second either. So I think he's in safety. Alex is done in the pit lane. Keeman is done in the pit lane. Goldstein's at the back. Duran didn't get to set a lap. We're taking a look at Code Mayonet at the moment. Not seeing anyone who's going to disrupt our order at all. It's a very strange thing to have at the end of an ACSL session. Definitely ACSL racing is absolutely fantastic. Qualifyings we can sometimes see it be in this way in terms of the pole position, but we usually do get some changes somewhere in the mid-pack usually. We're not getting it today, and I don't think there's anything that can really disrupt today's order. I think we're pretty much done. I don't see any of the drivers who are near each other actually improving at all. Okay, well that's qualifying done. 15 minutes complete. We're just waiting for all of them to come over the line. Oh, we did get an improvement in the end. We did get a time step forward. Brantos wasn't looking like someone who was going to be able to do it because he was much more further back originally. But that is fantastic. So he goes up to 10th. At least we did get one change near the end. At least we got something. Up all the way to the top 10. Well done to Brantos. That was slightly anticlimactic at the end. In terms of, I'm sure we would have possibly expected to see a little bit more. Tiberio did improve his time, but of course, as we expected, not position. Yeah, okay, so that's qualifying done. But the race, however, is the one to keep an eye on. The race is where Kasper Marciniak sometimes can even lose out to some of the drivers and, you know, battle with them, frankly, quite, chaotically and quite frenetically. If anyone's able to get ahead. But the main thing has been in ACSL racing. So if you're Tiberio, if you're any of the drivers, an important note. You need to try and get ahead of Kasper Marciniak on the opening lap to really stand a chance. Or he's gone for 30 minutes. Say goodbye, if not. I don't know what's going on. We've had Wellerman disconnect. Ryan Cole's on the chat. Hello, Ryan. Hope you're well. And Ryan said, did try, but I pushed too much. I think that was probably the case for a lot of drivers, wasn't it? To be fair. Probably just pushed a little bit. Well, of course, you're going to push a little bit too hard because, you know, you realistically set the benchmark. You set a good time, but now you need to try better that time. And for a lot of the drivers, that opportunity just didn't come on that time, and no one was really able to find it. Okay. I think everyone's just rejoining and we're getting back in position, and then we'll be able to go racing. How exciting. Kasper Marciniak. Next to Tiberio, Wellerman, Spepen, and Bartol. Your top 5. It's a perfect time to let us know some predictions on who you think is going to win. Who will be reaching the checkered flag first. And maybe if you want to predict the rest of the podium, 2nd and 3rd. If you think it's going to be Kasper, then at least give me a prediction for 2nd and 3rd. Come on now. Hope everyone is all well today on Grand Prix. Well, it's Saturday. We're heading into Sunday very shortly though. Grand Prix Sunday begins in Melbourne in about 1 hour, well, in about 2 hours and 30 minutes, I'd say. As a bit of an estimation. 2 hours 15. Hope you all enjoy the Melbourne action, but thank you for joining ACSL. Sepe is saying Jensen Goldstein, the British driver for P1. Interesting. We'll see. We'll see. They'll have quite the recovery, but if they can do so, I'm all here for it. We love a good story. We love a good story by the time we get to the end of the race. Okay, we tick down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we now can go in to the so we're in the pit lane. That's all the camera angles we have available to us, everyone. So I'm in the pits, but this is the grid. Here we go. Revs rising. Anticipation rising. You can hear them all revving up and up and up and up. And here in Road America, it is time to put our foot down, flat to the floor. Lights are lit. Who's ready to count them up as they begin shining? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. ACSL is underway and racing. Fantastic getaway for Kasper Marciniak, who's going to be leading us down towards turn number 1 here at Road America. Tiberio will try and hang on to second place, but it was not the greatest launch off the line. Marciniak now is getting some pressure at the start of the race into the first turn. It's Papen who's roared up all the way to second. Marciniak and Papen running inside deep. A lot of drivers further back chasing that option as well, and choosing that option as now we make our way into the braking zone. Wellerman looking to try and defend further back. He is up against Massaro on the opening tour of the race, but quite the interesting start. Brandon Bartop getting himself closer as well to the podium. Positions, Tiberio has got it for the moment. As we go downhill, who can make an overtake? Let's look further back. Wellerman under some pressure. Massaro trying to dive it up the inside, slightly deep, running the car off Wellerman. Massaro alongside, and they're wheel to wheel as we climb up and then go down inside line, and Massaro gets past Wellerman, who will be desperate to try and fight back. They're still going wheel to wheel. What a fantastic start it has been. Door-to-door racing, and look at Marcos waiting for the chance as well. Massaro's finally got the inside line, slightly in deep for Wellerman, and now this is the moment to go 3 wide. Look at how close it is getting between these 3 drivers who are keeping us entertained, and then some on the opening lap. It is Wellerman, then it is Massaro, and Marcos slots in behind. Absolutely extraordinary stuff. Here's Tiberio putting the pressure on Dantis Papen as we jump on board. Can Testori Tiberio do anything on the brakes? Looking to try and dive up the inside. And that was super close, as the Season 5 champion very nearly got past the Season 4 champion. But still, they run in the order. Second and third. We've got Kurgan making an overtake further back. He's got past Radu Alex. As off the road goes Dimitrov. Oh! Off Wellerman. Wellerman off the road. His battle continues with Massaro, and he comes off worse this time around. Marcos says thank you very much and roars up to 6th place. Let's look back to Bartop, Tiberio, Spapen. Are we gonna get an overtake? Tiberio looking very close. And Bartol will be there looking to try to capitalise as well. Can he send it this time? No, not quite. Brantos can though. He's side by side with Kobe Mayonertz. Kobe Mayonertz, the first ever ACSL champion, is in the mix. And he's right now losing out to Keeman up the inside. And Keeman gets ahead and moves up to 9th. Let's go downhill and watch and see, with 26 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock to go. Oh, that's slightly, well, I say slightly, very wide, very wide for Brandon Bartop. It is absolutely fantastic liveried car there. Keeman ahead of Brantos. Their battle very much going on and taking place. Send it in. You are watching ACSL from Road America. This is the BMW M1 Cup. As we begin our journey in March, which brings us a step closer to getting season number 7 of the ACSL League underway. We are continuing to test and work on our rating system as well, which has been developed absolutely brilliantly by Sepe. will be absolutely perfect and ready to go by the time the season comes. Ryan Cole getting past Radio Alex, who started in 11th position, did Alex. And oh, it's getting super close to contact. Contact is what may have happened ahead. Branchester's had a moment. Cole gets ahead of Alex. We've got a car off the road. Oh, spearing off and into the side. Big contact there. So that's going to be Ryan Cole is round in the middle of the circuit. And he's been collected there with Brantos. Alex, the other car involved as well. Kurgan just about got away with it. Durant's looking at the middle. Oh, no. More contact made. Durant spins around. And, well, I said Kurgan had got away with it. They haven't a few meters later. Absolute chaos. What has gone on in the last few seconds? Can they rejoin properly now and safely? Because that was a mess. That was an absolute mess a few moments ago. Cars were everywhere, spinning left and right, and it seemed like they were all just collecting each other. My word. Dramatic few moments there, and we're still now going wheel to wheel, so that's Alex trying to, well, get behind Ryan Cole. Oh, more drama. Dimitrov spins onto the grass. Well, so, okay, you've got Alex completely driving on the grass. Branches is there in the mix. Oh, Ryan Cole's very nearly heading into the wall. He's very nearly clipping the tyre there of Brantos. So it was Brantos the one who was very close to the grass. Alex is in the white styled machine. And then roaring through in the purple and pink is Ryan Cole, who's got P12. And, oh, Ryan Cole's got more drama. He's been involved in some more issues there as he tried to turn in and, well, left, absolutely left on his own. Stationary for a few moments, but continues on now. 3 seconds of the pace. Meanwhile, Tiberio's on Spapen. Here comes Tiberio, looking to try get past and move up to second. They'll have a drag race. Tiberio inching ahead on the outside line. Well held, well defended, and well kept by Dantis Papen, who still has second place with 23 minutes to go. Cannot believe what we were just seeing a few moments ago, though. That's just pure ACSL chaos. Cars absolutely everywhere. Oh my goodness. Lorenzo's had a moment. Yeah, so Lorenzo's had a moment. He'll continue on now. Over the line. And this is a very great battle. No one was able to get onto Kasper Marciniak's. Papen got close but couldn't get by on the opening tour of the race, and it means that everyone's faded off in terms of from the back of Marciniak, and now they're all involved in different battles and in different groups. It was a great start there for Dantis Papen. Roared his way up a couple of positions all the way to second. It was a well managed start, and you know, that's what you want. That's what you want. Oh, onto the grass, Tiberio. Tiberio looking to try and get by, but he's being squeezed onto the grass, or was. Now he's the one who's going to try and give some of it back to Dantis Papen. Papen is going to hang on though. And as these two battle, it's bringing Brandon Bartop into play. And Tiberio offline, slightly wide. Is that giving the chance to Bartop? Where is he in comparison? He's still behind at the moment, so wasn't able to capitalize. Tries to get the foot flat to the floor. Tiberio. Absolutely pushing on hard here. But sometimes the case can be in ACSL, pass or be passed. And at that moment, we were very much in that territory, weren't we? Into the braking zone. It's very much fighting away with the car. Tiberio may have all the pace in the world, but he's definitely having to fight over the car a little bit more in the last few moments, and it's giving Bartop the chance in behind. And this is for the podium positions, of course. Papen is in second, Tiberio is in third, and Bartop would love to get there and move himself up. Talking about moving themselves up, that's what Kurgan has done up against Ryan Cole. quickly going back in the live chat as well, by the way, Sepe saying, just made some improvements for it today, actually. That's, of course, in relation to the rating system, etc., etc. And he's also said you'll be able to see your rating stats, race results, all on the website. Yes, so that's what the drivers will have coming their way. It's fantastic, this new system that has been built up. And it's, well, gonna make Season 7 worth it, even if we're having to wait a little bit longer for it. Okay, second, third, fourth. Still in close proximity. Okay, that's a very interesting line from Bartop, in terms of... Didn't think it was going to work out, but I guess the wide turning does allow him to kind of keep the gap the same. This is very much interesting to watch and see. So, 19 minutes to go, everyone. In this race, it's a 30-minute contest. We've had a 15-minute qualifying. Tiberio, gaining. Can he do something? Dan Dispapen offline, he goes onto the grass. Which way does Tiberio go? One of the best chances he's had. Now he's the one who's on the grass, forcing his way by. Can he move up to second? Can he consolidate the position? Oh, they're making a bit of contact under braking. And Dan Dispapen, is he going to be able to hang on? He's going to be super in deep and he's held on to the position. I think he's going to back off surely a little bit and give some time back possibly. We'll see. But in the meantime, Brandon Bartop is roaring through and up to third. Bartop, opportunistic driving, and he's going to look to try and go on by as well. But Tiberio hangs on. Ryan Coldstad asking, how does it work for cars who force into other cars? Do they get penalties? Sword 13, so that's car 13, hit and force a lot of cars off the road there. That's probably a question for Sepe to answer, because of course he's made that system. And I guess that'll be some good insight for us. But yeah, definitely crashes and stuff is looked at by the system, I believe, from what I've heard. But he'll give you a better view and understanding. And, well, I'll do my job and focus on the wheel-to-wheel action as Brandon Bartop sends one up the inside and gets third position. He's been sitting behind and waiting lap after lap after lap. And finally he's got past, but now he's the one who has to defend it. Tiberio is back on him. And they're going to be running wheel-to-wheel. Fantastic to see. This battle continuing on. Spapen is not safe yet, but he's definitely got a buffer now. Oh, Bartop is off deep, jumping over the bumps and over the grass. He's going to spin. He's going to spin into the middle of the circuit and onto the other side of the barrier. A bumpy ride throws him off and drops him down to 7th place, and that is a shame for Brandon Bartop. Such good pace, and he won't get a chance of standing on that podium unless there is more drama in the second half of the race. So, this is what Sepe has basically said for any of the viewers who are interested as well, who don't have who aren't looking at the live chat. So this is of course regarding the question that Ryan Colstad had regarding incidents. So it looks at how many incidents you gain during a race, so how many incidents you basically have, like with a car. So, like we've just seen, a bit of banging wheels earlier on between Spapen and Tiberio, a bit of banging wheels between Bartop and Tiberio. We're seeing like 5 cars all just spin everywhere, that type of thing. So it looks at that. Kurgan and Alex are going to avoid some of the contact. Gabriel Kurgan in 13th. Oh no, he's not going to hold it. I thought he would. And at the same time, Alex is collected in the mix. I thought they were both going to go round, and they did end up both going round. No, don't come back onto the circuit. Oh, and they've taken out very nearly Ryan Cole, who's going to survive. And well, I mean, this is what's going on right now is basically what's going to be looked at. So I'm going to continue now explaining and reading Sepe's comments. So contact with a car or contact with an environment. Environment being, of course, barriers left and right. So if you're going to constantly smash it there, it's going to calculate that basically. And then based on that amount and how much of it during the race, it will calculate your safety rating. For skill rating, it looks at where you were expected to end based on your current skill rating and then gives you points based on that and where you finish. And it also looks at qualifying position as well for skill rating. Ryan Cole's back involved in some of the battling as Alex slides everywhere. And now here comes Ryan Cole, sends one up the inside and gets through. And straight off into the barrier goes Gabriel Kurgan. And it is, I mean, not been a good few moments for them, has it? So yes, that's basically an explanation. In terms of the rating system, what's going on at the front? Nothing. It's a transponder issue. Oh my word. Gotta love the game. Ignore that. The transponder's just glitching. There is nothing going on at the front. Believe it. Believe me. Right. Honestly, it does feel like I'm commentating real life. Because the thing with esports usually is that the game is not going to be lying to you. So there's like, you never consider a transponder issue. But in Assetto Corsa, compared to some of the other games, I've noticed it is. So it feels very much like a guessing game. Like, for example, sometimes when you're commentating on like a Formula 3 race or something, you just see transponder dropping down and then you're like, oh, there's an issue. Never mind. They've just all reset back up. That's what can happen. Lorenzo's had a moment, unfortunately, on the circuit. As they move back on. George Gibbons in the chat as well. Not able to race with us today, as I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast. So, there's been a lot of contact today, and I think I would not be surprised if some of the drivers are basically like given a bit of a mini telling off. I think some of the drivers might be given a mini telling off, I think, today. Because we've had a lot of just cars everywhere, and you know the mess we had earlier on where we just had cars spinning left, right, centre everywhere. Lorenzo's, by the way, reset to the pit lane. You just saw him have a spin and hit the ball. It's been a dramatic day though. You sometimes just get dramatic days. Lorenzo is out of the race. Jensen Goldstein, by the way, retired earlier on. I didn't really mention that, but he did. Here is Dimitrov, looking to attack Alex. Here is Kurt Mayonnaise, looking to attack Keeman. So decent, interesting fights going on at the moment. Here comes Dimitrov, up alongside Alex. And Dimitrov makes a simple pass, a nice and easy pass. And he'll now go after Ryan Cole. Let's see whether Alex will just slot in back in behind. Oh, Dimitrov's going to run into the side now of Cole. And Alex was also very nearly there on the scene as well. Keeman's round, so is Code Mayonnaise. They've had contact. As you see, both cars getting refired. Not the best camera angle to show you what had happened. But what I can tell you is Mayonnaise and Keeman have taken each other out, but they continue on. And what's happened to Massaro? Massaro's now gone off. These cars are proving to be such a difficult challenge for so many drivers. I don't know what happened to Massaro. But he's now off the road and he's losing positions and losing time. They're stationary at the moment. That's Code Mayonnaise going by, who was just involved in the contact with Keeman. And it's... Let's go back over to Alex going alongside Ryan Cole, and they're making contact again. So Massaro has not moved. Massaro has not moved. He's still stationary. I don't know what's gone on. Whether he plans to continue or what's going on, but I had to quickly go over to that battle. Gabriel Kurgan in the chat saying they're very unstable when counter-steering. My consistency was very bad since I'm on controller. Yeah, I can imagine that would have been hard. I mean, we're getting so many drivers struggle, like, just in general right now. Like, I don't think I've covered a race with... Unless it's been one of those wacky races. Unless it's been one of the wacky races. You know, I don't think I've ever seen that much in terms of big struggle. So, right, Mazara's race is basically done. They're still stationary. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know whether they're going to wait there or whether something's frozen or what's gone on. But yeah, they are off and they've lost any chance of a good result, unfortunately. And they had some good pace today. Alex, well, going very wide. Is he going to lose that into the wall? Yep. He goes round, hits the wall on the left-hand side of the driver, hits the wall on the right-hand side, and it's not turning into a good... I think we've had a freeze up here in the commentary box for a moment. Unsure if you can still hear us, but apologies. You should be back with us. Apologies for the issue. I think we had an issue up here in the commentary box momentarily. Apologies about that. Everything should be back to normal. Let me know. Just getting, things are just currently recovering. And then you should be able to see, hopefully, fluent pictures once again, very quickly. So yes, apologies about that, everyone. We momentarily had an issue. But I think things are just recovering now, and we should hopefully be back as soon as possible with fluent cars on the circuit, and not a PowerPoint. I think we've got to that territory now. I think everything is back now. I always love how sound is the thing that remains good during broadcasts. Everything else can fail, but sound, you know, it knows that my words are the most important. No, only joking. It's the drivers. It's the drivers out on the circuit. But yeah, apologies. Everything just froze. OBS froze and the game froze. I couldn't. For a second, I thought it was. For a second, I thought Alex stopped on the circuit, but I didn't really realise. By the way, Masaro's out. He was stationary for about a few minutes, and he's now out. At the same time, Ryan Cole's come into the pit lane. I don't know what he's doing. Don't know whether this is meant to be a retirement or whether he's just coming in for the sake of it. It's been a bit of a chaotic day, hasn't it? I think it's fair to say. But yeah, Ryan, I know, has been struggling with his wheel as well. He's been having some issues as it's been playing up a bit. I think he's rejoining the road, yes. Okay, lovely. He'll continue on, and we will look at the front, and, well, take a look at someone who... We'll take a look at someone who we haven't really looked at. We haven't even mentioned in a bit, because he's just dominating. Yeah, OBS, as great as it can be a little bit annoying occasionally, randomly, out of thin air. So, it'll be really interesting to see some of the ratings after this, because this is now Marciniak lapping Ryan Cole, but it'll be interesting to see some of the ratings, because I think you're going to get a lot of issues in terms of you're going to see a lot of drivers who've had a lot of contact today unfortunately, it won't be looking the best for them. And I'm not just saying that in terms of, you know, specific. I think I've seen a lot of drivers just ram each other quite a bit today. It's been a lot aggressive. It's been very aggressive, and I know there's been a lot of spins into the barriers as well. So it's been one of the days. It just has. You get it sometimes. Oh, Dimitrov has been. He was on the. Oh, he is off. He is off. I thought he avoided it because it flashed red, then went back to normal, then flashed red again, and then it's gone back to normal again. Dimitrov continues on. Just giving all the other drivers some airtime now that they've now that things have calmed down. We don't got any. Have we got any close battles? I think this is the closest. Dimitrov and Alex. But Dimitrov made the move a bit earlier, so he's now just, I think, trying to pull away. But that's the closest battle. Oh no, Keeman. He's continued though. Once again, it's flashing red. That car is destroyed at the back. Take a look at that. It's had some hits today at the back. Got quite dirty as well, hasn't it? Just away. Oh, can he keep it out of the wall? Yes. It's held. Can he keep it? No. I thought he was able to do it. And then he continues on. Nicely pointed back in the right direction though for him. And he continues on with his, well, race in the final 3 minutes and 40 seconds. So, just waiting now to see the drivers give their final push. I think the order's going to stay the same unless there's any mistakes, which is, well, very much possible judging off today so far. Like, it may not seem like it, but as we've just seen across the entire tee-off today, it is so easy for mistakes to happen. And there we go, another spin. Can they keep it out of the wall? Nope. And this time around, Brantos is going to go through. There he is. Some insight from George given in the live chat. These cars seem difficult to control. I noticed a lot of drivers that wouldn't usually spin at places that do spin. Yeah. Just the way things are going right now, aren't they? Here is Kasper Marciniak, your leader. We are on to the final lap of the race here at Road America. This is the final tour now. And it has been an absolutely extraordinary performance. Kurgan backing up George Given, of course. He's had the experience of driving on the circuit. Well, as of, you know, a few moments ago, quite literally. Yeah, George, basically their rear slips, I can't get words out of middle speed corners, and then they try to overcorrect themselves. Interesting. Oh, Wellerman's in the pits. Now he's got a gap to code Mayonnaise. Yeah, usually, as Ryan Cole's father says, usually, right, in ACSL, we're used to some little nudges here and there, but it's just easily, with these cards, you're just easily getting someone tagging someone, and it's not led to the best experience, I think, for a lot of drivers. Keeman's off the road. Duran, have to say, well done to him, because he's recovered all the way from the back. He didn't actually set a lap in qualifying, so he's done very, very well as we cut over. Oh, Wellerman's out, so he's not actually going to see the flag. Keeman's made another mistake. Wellerman is not going to reach the checkered flag, and that is such a shame. He is out of the race. It is absolute drama. Keeman's come to a complete halt on the circuit. I was about to say we cut over to our race leader absolutely losing the car. But well held for Kasper Marciniak, of course well held by him as they make their way through. Keeman's the car that they've just gone past who was stationary. But this is going to be the victorious moment for Kasper Marciniak. Who other than Kasper Marciniak as Alex makes a mistake further back. It is drama and chaos behind. It is perfection at the front as Kasper Marciniak wins at Road America, taking the checkered flag here in the BMW M1 Cup. Dantis Papen, 16.7 seconds behind, but he'll see the flag in second. And actually, Marcos has really closed in onto the back of Tiberio. And I think Ryan Cole is there. Ryan Cole is, of course, a lap down. Ryan Cole's race is over. Tiberio hangs on to third. Marcos is fourth. Drivers do have to be careful because they shouldn't now be crashing it out everywhere. Because from what they've said previously, I think it can affect the rating. Unless they've changed that and unless they've found a loop around for it. I believe if you do now crash it still, it could affect your rating. I think Sepe... Well, I remember that being said a few weeks ago. I don't know. Don't know whether that's still a thing. There's Ryan Cole doing donuts, everyone, in pit lane. But we've still got drivers finishing up their race. Here is Brantos then, 45 seconds away from Curb Mayonnaise. The gaps have been large, I think. And that would be an understatement probably to describe the gaps here today. Kargan saying, what if I continue my race now? Yeah. Not ideal has it's not been for the drivers, I'm sure. Brantos 7th. Duran will be 8th. And then Dimitrov 9th. He'll be the last car over the line. There we go. A good drive to stay out of most of the chaos for Duran, all the way from the back to the front, all the way from the back to the middle, I should say rather. And then the final driver to see the flag will be Dimitrov. Wellerman still classified in 10th, even when being retired, because of Alex and Cole were much more further back. Yeah, George, you kind of have protected your safety rating by not racing today. Because a lot of the other drivers have been properly going for it and into each other. I mean, even some of your clean drivers, and even some of your clean drivers, they were very much getting into each other today. Spapen and Tiberi were banging door to door during their battles for second place, and Bartov also in the mix. So it was quite ludicrous. Okay. How about that then? What an interesting race, I think it is fair to say. It had a lot of chaos, I can definitely assure you that. And, sometimes chaos is just the way things go. It is just what you have to deal with. And sometimes chaos is what will happen in races. And we now will very much prepare for the next race. Let's quickly run you through the calendar just to remind you of what has changed, as it's not how it was before. We are heading over to the NASCAR Craftsman Series for Brands Hatch Racing in a week's time. That is George Gibbons' favourite track, by the way. Thought I'd throw in some extra information in that as well, because I know he's told me that before. DTM is the week after, and then on the 28th, I don't have a clue, and neither do you, because it is a pre-season event, and as it says, it does the speaking for me. It is coming soon. It is very much coming soon. Okay, well, I want to thank everyone who has joined us here today. It has been a pleasure bringing you this race here for ACSL. Please enjoy I was about to say, please enjoy the ACSL action. We've just had it. Please enjoy the real-life Australian Grand Prix Sunday. I'm not going to say the Australian Grand Prix because, as I said earlier on in the broadcast, there's a lot more on. Okay, there's Formula 2, Formula 3, and Supercars. And I know the F1 margins are quite big. Most likely, what we just saw here today could happen in the F1 in terms of cars breaking down and a bit of chaos, okay, with the new regulation. Please do enjoy Formula 2, Formula 3, and the supercars that are on. It's always a great Australian Grand Prix weekend. So, you know, make sure you get a few other things in case the F1 is a little bit, let's say, lackluster. And also, of course, I know a few people will be going to bed to wake up for 4 a.m. If you do wake up for 4 a.m. and, you know, it's a bit quiet, on your phone, just load up the F2 and F3 highlights because they'll be up by that time. So what I'm saying is, I'm giving you ideas. I'm giving you all ideas in terms of how to actually enjoy yourself and, you know, get something out of the morning. Anyway, I'm up for all of it. I'm on the all-nighter once again, so I'm going to have a lot of fun. That's why we have no interviews, by the way. That is why we have no interviews, because I need, in about 1 hour 40 minutes, I will be shouting, and Formula 3 is racing in Australia. Very fun, I know. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. We will be back in a week's time for some NASCAR action. We've done it before, I've done it before with you, and we'll be over to Brands Hatch. We'll see you there. Goodbye.